I'm using a throwaway because he would be so embarrassed. So I've been with my husband for 6 years. Early on, I noticed after a night of drinking, after we would fall asleep, he would get really pushy for sex in the middle of the night. Not forceful, like I always could get away, but no checking in, just sort of grabbing me and going for it and being pushy if I tried to stop him. This was pretty scary the first few times, and I blamed the alcohol and we'd argue about it. With him having no memory, anything happened. I was completely smitten, so for whatever reason I just took it as his drunk persona and would sleep on the couch if he got too handsy. He's since stopped drinking, and as we started spending every night together, I found patterns like it's more likely to happen when we're up late and/or we've already had sex that night. It's also much quicker and less about my needs. Then in the morning he has no memory of it, like he remembered we had sex as we were going to bed, but swears we only had sex once, even thought I'm sleep-deprived from being woken up for round 2. The comical bit is sometimes I have to wake him up to get him to knock it off, at which point he thinks I'm waking him up for round 2, not waking him up to avoid round 2. For the most part, it's just one of his quirks, but I'm also one of those people who has a hard time falling asleep and much harder time falling back asleep. And the sleep sex always seems to be just after I'm good and asleep, so it just throws off my sleep for the entire night. We've discussed it happening, and I'm not entirely sure he believes me. Part of me is flattered like he must be dreaming about me, but it's just so odd. Has anyone else experienced this in their relationships? Do we need to go to a sleep therapist, or is it okay since we're a married couple and I know I can shove him off and he won't even remember getting snubbed the next morning? Is it bad that I don't always turn him down? I've even asked if he's awake. He's answered yes and then not remembered the next morning. It makes me feel like I'm taking advantage when I just let it happen because it's easier than the whole process of waking him up and getting us both back to sleep. But also he's not really choosing it if he's asleep. It's confusing, and I'm not really sure what to do.